Hi, it's Gil McNeal. We're back today on June the 5th. We're going to look at larches today. So larch is Larix, that's a botanical name, and then there's different species, and then there's different cultivars. So starting off, I'm going to talk about the Larix decidua, which is the European larch. And I've got a couple in front of me. This one is the Pendula, and I've staked this one here up so that it'll get some height to it, and then weep over, and all these branches will weep down, and they'll be really nice. So I've got another one here that I haven't staked. It'll just kind of grow sideways and be a ground cover type, and you could stake a branch up at any time as well, but this has another unique look. So Larix decidua Pendula are these two right here. Very nice in the garden. And then another Larix decidua. This cultivar is called Little Bogle, and it has an upright habit. It will also spread out somewhat. It'll put a leader out, but it's not going to be really tall. But in 10 years, it'll just be 3 feet tall and 2 feet wide. So shrub size, so it won't outgrow that area. They also take pruning well, so if it gets a little bit out of hand, if it's touching other plants or whatever, you can prune it very easily. So I've got another Larix decidua. This one's called Tunis, and it is more dense and shrub-like. So again, to keep it more compact, you can easily prune it, do a light shearing on it, or just regular pruning. But a really nice plant, so for the garden, and won't outgrow its space unless you want something miniature. That's a small dwarf. So the next one we're going to look at are the Japanese larches, and that's Larix kaempferi. And there's a couple of cultivars in front of me right now, and I'll pick one up. This one's called Curtis Worchard, and both of these, actually, this other one I'll talk about in a minute, they're shrub-like. They have different, you can see the needle's slightly darker on this Curtis Worchard than the one in front of me that I'll talk about in a second. Has some varied directions here, and again, the height on this, 2 feet by 3 feet in 10 years, that's what we consider the mature height. So again, shrub-like, and it would take pruning well if it got bigger than you wanted it to. And this other one is called Haverbeck, the cultivar name, a little lighter green. It looks like it's having a little shorter growth than this one here, but they have the same growth rate. So they're both going to be about 2 feet by 3 feet at maturity. So I've got another larch in front of me, Larix laricina, and it's known as the American larch, and a lot of people know this tree as a common name is tamarack. Like larches, they go golden in the fall, and if you're in the woods and see this in the fall, and all across America, but North America mostly, and Canada, the hills will be just really bright with that golden yellow fall color of tamarack. So this particular cultivar, another dwarf, kind of shrubby like one, upright habit though, called Deborah Waxman. Nice, it has a little darker green color. The larches are so nice because they contrast for the colors. New needles come out, which is true of a lot of conifers, but they this soft green color and a little lighter color of the new growth, and if they push a second growth during the year, you'll get that contrast again. So they're just good plants for the garden. Larches are well behaved. Dwarf conifers in particular are really nice. So I'm going to pick up another conifer. I don't know if I'm going to pronounce it exactly right. It's Larix gmelinii. It's G-M-E. It's always hard. And this particular one is called Romberg Park. We have a mature one in the garden here, so we're going to get a picture of that and show it to you. Again, large shrub-like eventually, but slow growing, so it'll take a while. But nice form, more broad than tall. So I just wanted to talk. I'm kind of excited because our new grafts that from this year are starting to push growth. Especially, I've got a couple of firs in front of me, so I just wanted to show you that this is Korean fir, Abies koreana icebreaker, which has been popular over the last number of years because it's slow growing and it shows those nice silver needles. Here's our understock. It's really has calloused up nicely. You can see where it's pushing growth here on all three of its branches. And then I'm going to pick up another one, which is a noble fir, Blau Hexe. Again, I'm just going to show the nice callousing right here where they've come together. Our understock is going to be let grow, and I've been tipping it. I don't want it to grow too much, but you want some energy. You want that energy coming up here into both plants right now. And you can. This one has about a ½ inch of growth. Blau Hexe grows about 1 to 2 inches a year, so it's a slow grower. One of my favorite all-time plants for miniature small dwarf in the garden. So I'm standing in front of a little more mature Tunis. That's that larch we showed you, the 1 gallon size. But this one here has been grown for over 10 years. And again, if you want to keep it more shrub-like, you can take off these ones that are shooting out, or you can let it go and get a little bit bigger. So the larches are very forgiving. Yeah, good girl. Yeah. Yeah, you're a ham. You are a ham. Yeah. So I'm standing in front of an older weeping larch, and we'll get a shot of the trunk here in a bit, but you can see how massive it is and how it hangs down. It's in the shade, and it does just fine. So it's next to a witch hazel, which is quite large as well. So we're shaded out by a very, very large metasequoia and some other pines and things around me, Canadian hemlocks and things. So really, this is a large specimen of a Larix decidua, Pendula. So since we're going to deviate a little bit, since we're talking about deciduous conifers, I'm going to talk about this metasequoia, since we're just going by it right now. So metasequoia wasn't known to exist. It was known to be a prehistoric plant, but didn't know if there was any living trees still existing until 1945, when they were rediscovered in China and possibly one in Japan. So here's one that is, you can just see how massive that trunk is and how it flares at the bottom, and how deeply furrowed and interesting it is. Again, it's going to lose all its needles this fall, but this is the species, and there are some really nice cultivars that we sell here at the nursery as well. But I just wanted to, as we're passing by this metasequoia Leptostrogoides, I wanted to get it into our video today. So I'm standing, and we have one more Larix decidua pendula right here. You can see how massive this thing is, and this trunk right here. I mean, it's a good 8-9 inches, and in caliper, and then it's probably 10-12 feet wide. I'm just making an estimation here, but just weeping down and pendulas. So we could clean these up. We always have more that we can do around here. And interestingly, we've got an oak growing right here. It's a volunteer. There's an oak tree right above me, so these acorns fall down and we get oak volunteers growing throughout the garden here too. So difficult to dig because they have a taproot that goes very, very deep. So I'm standing in front of a blue sparkler, which is another larch, and a nice blue tone to it. It's an older specimen, probably 8 feet tall. I really like the color on this one, and like the plant a lot. So I didn't talk about that one this one earlier, but we do have them in our inventory, and a couple of them. So I wanted to, as we're going by it, and then we're going to move on to the larch next to this one. So we looked at Romberg Park earlier in a 1 gallon size. This is what a mature one looks like. I could venture a guess, I don't know exactly how old it is, at least 30 years old, I'd say. It's got, the trunk splits into two here. I've been pruning on it this winter, cleaning it out just to expose the trunk and the bark. There's still some work to do on it. But you can see, you know, 30 years old, it's only 6 feet tall, but it is 10 to 12 feet wide. So again, they take pruning well, but kind of cleaning them out, exposing bark. I really like this tree. So we're going to end the video today with a pan of the front yard. You'll see some really mature trees. The dogwoods are in bloom right now, and they're pretty spectacular with all their flowers. They're the Korean dogwoods, and we have several different kinds on the property here. You see a huge hornbeam in the background, fastigiata, which is upright growth, but it's very broad, and then just a number of trees, a weeping spruce, Picea glauca, Pendula, and ginkgos, and just there's just a variety of trees that we have there. So thanks for watching us. I hope you'll like the video, and if you'd like it, and comment, and if you could subscribe to our channel, that would be great. We'll see you next time.